It's Rog. It's Thursday, the morning after the night before. Euro America 2024 Summer of Football officially underway. No sleep till July 15th, and I am crapping you not. I'll see you on the other side. We are living in remarkable times. Just like there's BC and AD, we're now living in the Jesse Marsch's Canadian era, and the world may never be the same again. A brave, valiant, but ultimately doomed attempt to down Messi in Argentina, who ran out 2-0 winners in Atlanta in a helter-skelter skirmish. Honestly, one that's played by prison rules. Jesse Marsch, he loves Atlanta. He loves it smothered and covered. Oh, Canada. We'll talk about that all. And earlier today, England manager Gareth Southgate unveiled a surreal new talent, elite ability to make world-class footballers look total shit. Oh, England, Spain look vaguely terrifying as they obliterated Italy in a battle between paella and pasta, and Serbia, what is dead may never die, scoring an equaliser with the last touch of the ball against a quite stunned Slovenia. Every game in this tournament, the Euros, is an instant bloody classic. We'll talk about it all in the course of the next 45 minutes or so. We'll take your questions, but I'm not here alone because, my lord, joining me is a gift to the world. A joy to welcome the king of all combat sports media, the host of the MMA Hour, huge Nottingham Forest for life. He's loved Nottingham Forest. He's never deviated from any other teams. Also a Canada fan. It's the pride of Montreal. Really is to broadcasting what Shea Claudette is to poutine. It's a joy to welcome on this great night for his nation. It's Mr. Ariel Helwani.
Wow, what a great honor. What a great honor. The last time I think we did this, I think I got 5 minutes in the middle of a USA-Iran game. I was completely wedged in here. Now I feel a lot more appropriate to the show.
You can man spread now. You can
sure.
just take it easy. How are you holding up, man? Did you just spend much of the last 90 minutes just lifting up your shirt like an Edmonton Oilers fan?
I was enjoying it more than 90. That halftime was almost 90 minutes. It was going on forever. Listen, I'm very, very proud of the boys. As you well know, Jesse Marsch, appointed essentially a month ago, has had 2 games under his belt with the boys going into this. I thought they played their hearts out. I thought they represented. They're playing the number 1 team in the world, the defending World Cup champions, and we had our chances. I actually just got off the phone with Prime Minister Trudeau. They are building a statue for Max Crépeau as we speak in the heart of Montreal. What a performance out of him. So, look, a tie would have been nice, but there are some nice moral victories to take from tonight's performance.
We're going to break the whole game down. I mean, I've got a couple of quick questions. Where does Jesse Marsch already after 1 game rank in the list of great Americans, up there with Margaret Atwood, Jim Carrey, Avril Lavigne? Is he in there? Is that possibly the top 3? I think it's probably the top 3. Terry Fox, we have to say.
Terry Fox, shout out to him. Yes, Wayne Gretzky, of course.
Yeah, shout out to T Fox. But is he in there already?
He's creeping his way in there. I mean, you know what sold me, by the way? What sold me was when they're singing the national anthem, and there's old Jesse belting it out from down here, like he's one of us.
I just had Jesse on the show, and I did ask him, you've only been manager for 30 days. You can't fix everything. What do you try and fix first? By the way, sorry for leaving you out the list of great Americans. William Shatner, I feel terrible. Not you. You got to earn it. Shatner's earned it.
Sorry.
Shatner's bloody in it. But I don't think he's done anything with this team other than just shout at them, tell them to step up and stop crapping the bed. And then he's just in his bedroom, he's just learned the Canadian national anthem. He belted that.
I loved it. I loved the pride. Look, the World Cup was a very mixed bag of emotions because I thought they should have drew against Belgium, but then the next 2 games were complete crap. And I felt like tonight was an opportunity to right some of those wrongs, to show everyone that we have heart, that we have aggression, that we could go out there and play. It's a new era. The Herdman era fell flat on its face.
Yeah,
he left us high and dry.
With his little testicles.
And I think we showed something. Wouldn't you agree? You're the expert. Wouldn't you agree? I was proud.
I think you should. I mean, I want to break the game down with you in 1 second, and I also want to apologise to Samantha B for leaving her out the list of great Canadians. But let me ask you the question before we break the game down. Everyone in the football world is asking tonight, and only you can answer it. Best bagels in Montreal, Saint Viateur or Fairmount Bagel? Which one is it?
You're rocking the right. So it's a beautiful sweatshirt. And by the way, you're constantly rocking a Montreal Expos hat, and I feel like it's just your way of getting my attention without getting my attention. Like your way of texting you up at 2 a.m. to me, but you don't want to actually text me. Is that what you're doing?
You're like my mother-in-law. It's all about you, isn't it?
Yes,
Ariel?
yes.
No, you know I love your city. You know I love your city. You know,
is it just you like the hat? You just like the hat?
No, I'm very, very, very fond of Canada. I grew up in Liverpool, and before every election, my dad would say if the party he was voting for did not get into power, that we'd be moving to Canada in the morning, and I'd pray before I'd go to sleep, like 6, 7, 8 years. I'd be like, please let the party that he voted for not get in so we can move to Canada.
Is he a big Tories guy?
Oh, he's an arse. I mean, he's a lovely man, and he's not well, but he was politically a bit of an arsehole. But I want to tell you, in case you're not noticed, I'm a little loopy. I flew back from LA today. I've had, I think, 5 hours sleep the past 3 nights. It's Euros Copa. We don't sleep anymore. Tonight, though, is not just about me and Mighty Helwani, who I'm so bloody fond of. It's about you, dear viewers. This is a Do It Live, which means you are a massive part of the show. You can ask us questions about football, life, or Montreal bagels. Just scan that QR code in the top left of your screen. It'll take you to a Zoom with our producer. The mighty Tony is working with us tonight. I'm very fond of that man. Come and talk to us, he'll get you on air to ask whatever you want, to tell us whatever you want. It's audio only. You don't have to put a shirt on. We'll get to those questions in 1 minute. But God, let's jump in here and talk about, well, first a quick toast. I want to raise my first Michelob Ultra of the day to the great Xherdan Shaqiri, the squarest athlete in football, SpongeBob Swiss man, the human cube. Yesterday's 1-1 draw. Oh, with the mighty Scots. He scored a stunning goal. I mean, my nipples are still tingling. Just a moment of lacerating, improvisational genius. Few players have the ability to do what he did. Even fewer have the confidence to try and pull it off with the world watching. He became the only player, this is kind of incredible, only player in the men's game who scored in each of the last 3 Euros and each of the last 3 World Cups. This athlete, I don't know if there are ones in your world in MMA. When he gives a crap, he is Tom Brady GOAT levels. He just doesn't give a crap too often, Ariel. I think he'd win the Ballon d'Or if tournament football was the only football. I mean, it's really... I mean, I believe few footballers would fare better in the octagon than Shaqiri.
Well, I don't think that in the world of fighting you can like take days off. You know what I mean? Because if you do, you get your head knocked off. But there are people who, there's some people who kind of rise to the occasion and maybe sometimes fight better when the stakes are higher as opposed to when it's just an average fight. So I understand what you were saying 100%. But it's different.
Conor McGregor takes a few days off, though.
Nah, how dare you? Okay, the man is hurt. Kicking him while he's down. He's given us so much joy. Yeah. I will not accept any.
And I honestly wouldn't know enough about life not to kick Conor McGregor.
You're actually a closet MMA fan, which I appreciate about you. Sometimes you'll text me random things, and I'm like, how does Raj know? I mean, you're texting me about Paddy Pimblett 3 years ago.
I'm really hashtag team meatball Molly the meatball because she's a proper blue. But the Copa. I do love the MMA, and you're very patient with me, you beautiful man. No. Let's talk about your team. Argentina 2, Canada 0 in Atlanta. Sold out crowd, more than 70,000. The game might as well have been in Buenos Aires. They were there to watch nearly 37-year-old Lionel Messi, possibly his last dance with the national team. And in this one, he faced up to another GOAT, the GOAT of Racine, Wisconsin, Mr. Jesse Marsch. I need to ask you about this, man. He now leads your Canadian national men's team. A gent who was rumoured to be locked on to become US coach earlier this year, now rides with you north of the border. This was his first competitive game. What do you think of it all? He and Greg Berhalter, the American manager, essentially like almost two brothers feuding through football, like our region's Noel and Liam Gallagher. Last night, Brendan Hunt on stage in LA, he was talking about Jesse taking the job right next door to Jesse to Greg. He said decisions based in the search for revenge rarely work well. How do you feel about your new dad?
So I've always had a weird theory about this when you talk about managers, coaches on the international stage. I have always felt that the coaches should also be from the country. I've always found this to be a very weird thing. All the players have to be from the country. Why shouldn't the coach? And this is a thing in hockey and in basketball. We've got Jordi Fernandez leading the Canadian men's basketball team this summer, who are going to win a gold. I can't wait for that in Paris. But nevertheless, I thought after everything that went down with the Reynas and all that over the last year and a half or so, I thought Jesse Marsch was, I mean, I thought he was the front runner. He was available. It seemed like he was not jumping at the next opportunity. It seemed like he was waiting for the American job. It seemed like it was right there for him. And I was A, shocked that he didn't get it. And then I was B, shocked that he went to Canada of all places instead. And so, yes, it does feel like a bit of a, it feels perhaps, if I could equate it to Shawn Michaels, Marty Jannetty in the barber shop back in the day, the super kick to the head right through the window.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
This is Jesse Marsch super kicking America right through the window and saying, all right, you don't want to give me the opportunity. I'm going to go solo. I'm going to go to your neighbors to the north, and I'm going to build them into a powerhouse, because I do believe that Canada can hang with the U.S.
I believe.
Right?
By the way, I am quite excited. I want to be clear. I'm quite excited by what the one possible, the good scenario is. This incredible team, this incredible young team, this high octane team with Jesse and his kind of his laboratory ideas. It could possibly be the best thing that happens, honestly, for all of us, the United States too, that there's a true threat rising up there in the north. I love your idea that the coach has to come from the country that they represent.
But I'm okay with it.
Which means that you should. Trudeau now needs to invade Wisconsin. Just annex Wisconsin. We'll give it to you. We'll give it to you just so that you can have Jesse legally.
Ultimately, I'm okay with it. Herdman wasn't from Canada either. It's totally fine. It's just a thing that I wanted to bring up.
I understand. I love it. By the way, I do believe Jesse and Greg are like it's like Prince William and Harry of football. It's like Fraser and Niles Crane. You could say they're like Kendall and Roman Roy, but I'm all here for it. As John Oliver said on our show, I said this last night, and I love it. I've just had a pennant made with this on, actually. Spite is the rocket fuel of human motivation, and I'm all here for it. Some first test, only defending world champion Argentina, defending Copa champion. 8 starters from the team, including one Lionel Messi. They are overwhelming favourites to finish top of Group A. They can win the whole tournament for a record 60th time. Take me back before kickoff. If you can just disassociate from your feelings now, take me back, float back in time. I love you. I love your naive optimism, Helwani. I really do. Did you have any real confidence before kickoff that your Canadian boys could get any kind of result?
First of all, commiserations going from John Oliver to me back-to-back nights, so I'm sorry about that.
Helwani, there's no one I would want to talk Canadian football with other than you or the lead singer of the Tragically Hip, and good, he's sadly no longer with us. So here we are, baby.
Sure. I appreciate that. I am very naive. I am a hopeless romantic when it comes to my sports teams, and I have never in my lifetime celebrated any great success for any of my sports teams. I've never seen them win a championship of any kind. Any team. My baseball team doesn't exist. My basketball team won in the 70s. My football team never won. I could have chosen any team to fully support. I know you make jokes, but I picked Nottingham Forest because I need to suffer. And I said to my son, who I watched the game with, Walter, he's a big Forest fan as well. I said, this kind of feels like Forest versus Man City. But lest we forget, Saudi Arabia caught Argentina slipping in game 1 of the World Cup. So I feel like we have a good chance. This is my conversation before the game. We have a chance here, right? First 20 minutes, it was a game of 10 minutes for me. Let's just be in it for the first 10 minutes. Then it's the next 20 minutes. Then it was 30 minutes.
I do that.
Then it was 4. And then I'm like, halftime. I never celebrated a 0-0 halftime score. And then, of course, 5 minutes into the second half, everything went to shit. But I thought the first half was brilliant. Obviously, we got lucky, but I like the aggressiveness. I love the aggression. I loved that they were taking
Jesse
chances.
Marsch loves aggression. I mean,
Yes,
that's who he is. He
they're
loves
pressing.
He loves aggression. I mean, by the way, your comment that my baseball team doesn't exist is a rare sporting statement that would draw pity even from an Everton fan. But Jesse Marsch, he loves aggression. I think he'd seen a tape of Argentina lose at home to Uruguay in November 2-0. And there it was high press, and it was quick transition. And that seemed to be, I mean, it was almost reckless, to be candid, because to do that with Uruguay is one thing, to do it with the Canadian players is another. But that's what he did. He made Alphonso Davies the captain, taking his best player, not always as a team player, but making him the leader. And his boys just charged audaciously at Argentina early on. And by audacious, I obviously mean quite recklessly. Jesse, insanely high line. There was that moment early on. You texted me right afterwards. You were like losing your mind. Canada pushed everybody up. Everybody. They were pressing like in the area. The you're only the world champions. We'll put all our players in your area. We're going to blow your doors off, Lionel Messi. Di Maria ran the whole length of the field, honestly like a kickoff return. It was like seeing Billy White Shoes Johnson exhumed them back on the Atlanta turf. There, you were loving the recklessness of it.
I loved it. I think there were like 3 or 4 of those moments where it just seemed like they had just a wide. It was like Deion Sanders returning a kickoff. It was unbelievable, and Crepeau out there with the Crepos, just he just went for it. It was great stuff. Cornelius played great as well. I was very impressed by him. Bombito as well. This guy's a beast of a guy. Kone didn't play great.
You told me you were seeing more fight than in any World Cup game. That was your first half feeling.
That was it. Certainly, the Croatia game was very disappointing. Morocco, they pretty much gave up at that point. The Belgium game, I think they should have. Obviously, Davies missed a penalty kick, but they played tentatively, in my opinion, in my non-expert opinion, in those World Cup games. Here, they said, let's just go for it, and I loved it. I love the way they played. And I don't think many people are picking them to advance. I think we have a chance based on this performance, right? I know some people are saying...
I think you got everything. I mean, by the way, Coach SJ in the chat says about the pressing, Jesse, fantastic. I'd like to see him make more changes earlier, especially when trying to chase a lead. Don't think our pressing was intense as I've ever seen it. It was more intense than I've ever seen it before. I mean, Jesse Marsch essentially spent the first half of the game just doling out some warm glasses of shut the hell up. I mean, the fact that the field, we need to mention this, was funky turf laid over concrete. I mean, in the most CONCACAF of ways, didn't help. The ball zipped around, popped over seams. It was like as if the grass was cut by Landon Donovan's barber. Plus the fact that the game was in Atlanta and the match cameras appeared to be somewhere just outside of Charlotte. So we were watching this game hovering in outer space, and the commentary was 2 seconds, 3 seconds behind. So it was almost like the past and the present and the future just blurred. I've got jet lag, Ariel. This was like a psychedelic viewing experience. It was fantastic.
It was also a little bit dark for my liking, if I'm to be honest. I don't love the lighting over there at Mercedes-Benz Stadium. It did feel like a game. I mean, there were hardly any Canadian fans. A little disappointed. Most of them are probably headed to Edmonton for Game 6 tomorrow night. But nevertheless, a strong shot. I don't love those new jerseys as well. I don't like
the ones. It's a lot. It's a lot of deft touches, and by deft I mean just ill-judged. Almost every single one of them.
I'll tell you what I did pop for on the other side of things. When my guy Montiel came in at the very end, one of our own, he's one of our own. Of course, from Nottingham Forest.
Don't cross the streams, I would have said to Jesse Marsch. By the way, you've got the Euros by day, and I know you've watched it. We'll talk about England in a minute. Like, Euros are like, we are going to play audacious, atmospheric, every team just going for it, banging football. The Copa was like, okay then, we'll take the sloppy crap on the concrete carpet with commentary on the time, like we'll play by prison rules. And I just say, couldn't take my eyes off either version. We are blessed. We are absolutely blessed. Travis Powers in the chat says, was the camera in the old good thingy blimp? But God bless Argentina. Combo of the bouncy carpet grass, the Canadian disrespect, the speed, the aggression.
Can I ask you an insider TV question?
Would you please?
Was the crew, like the halftime crew, the pregame, were they in Germany? Rob Stone and those guys.
Were they in Germany?
No, seriously, where are they in Germany? Like Alexi Lalas, isn't he in Germany right now?
Oh no, Lallis does not leave America. He's
So
proper
that's
here.
that they're in. They're in L.A.
Yeah, they're in
Ah, they
LA.
didn't even fly out. They're not even in
No,
Germany.
Lallis wouldn't leave America.
He
I
was in
mean,
Qatar, no?
yeah. Well, Qatar to him is part of America. That's the American one to live in. But the Qatari part, I mean, he's got a country to run. He can't leave.
Oh, all right.
He's. By
Well,
the
I
way,
just
I'm
felt
pretty
bad for those
convinced. I
guys.
do believe Lallis is going to be president by about 2038.
No.
Yeah, I know how this goes. People, you become a subject of intrigue and like people turn against you, and then you kind of become president. I know where this is going. I do know. He's
It's
going to
a bit
be.
of an underwhelming crew. Can I just say, like,
You can't. I'd love Rob Stone. He's the
no,
bomb.
no. I mean the analyst. The analyst.
They're definitely
It's not a who's who. I mean, it just doesn't feel like there's a lot of oomph there. No.
um. You
Are
put
you
me
trying
in.
to be? I'm sorry. Are these your friends? I'm sorry. I could
You
just
put
say.
you put me in a tough spot. I'd say they're whelming. I think they are whelming. There's
Okay, they're
probably
well.
I love Clint. Clint too is.
Oh, Clint's cool. Clint's
Clint's
cool.
a great American. And Lallis is just operating. He's playing 4D chess. We think he's talking about football. He's mulling his presidential run. And when he's president, my God.
Here's what I want to know. Why is Clint Dempsey allowed to do Fox and CBS, but Cade Abdo isn't?
Wow, you're tying me up in
I'm
knots.
sorry.
I don't know how it works. I think there's things called contracts. And I
Yeah,
do
how's he
believe
allowed to do both?
Well, I guess his agent negotiates differently
Kate,
than
come
Kate
on.
Updike.
Kate's my gal. We work together on DAZN sometimes. She's
You
tremendous.
do. She does
All-
the boxing. You work with a lot of the football people. You work with what's her name from England, who does the Premier League for Discovery. Yeah,
Laura Woods.
yeah, she's fantastic.
Legend. What a legend.
Really, really iconic.
You know, I'm big in
and quite
England. Everyone
remarkable.
loves me over there. They try to get me to cross over to do more football, but I say I have enough on my plate. I don't
I
have time.
think the Ariel on football is quite fascinating. We're getting back to the game. Get
Sorry,
me
sorry,
off the
sorry.
Lallis for president tip.
Sorry.
Because it goes via him
I just want
becoming
to
the
say
head
hello
of
to the
sports for
Marinakis family
InfoWars.
as well. They're watching over in Greece. Well done.
Yes,
Yes,
Sue.
yes.
Anyway, the commentary was also 3 seconds behind, which I think confused Argentina in that first half. Like they didn't
Sure.
know what to do on the ball when John Strong was like shouting at them minutes after they just done something. It was very confusing. I was like, Argentina, welcome to CONCACAF. You're in my world now, Grandma. The crowd started to get out the game. Canada just laying into them. Jesse talks a lot about changing the team psychology, making them believe they can win, which is so bloody important. Your Canadians in the first half, those boys, big chances not taken. Kyle Larin from close range. This team just, I mean, they had no fear. They had no fear at all in that first half, and it was beautiful.
It was absolutely beautiful, and I thought everyone came ready to play. There were some new faces from the World Cup team. A bit of a maybe, I don't know, a bit of a younger squad. But to me, the big question in this tournament is going to be Jonathan David. Jonathan David didn't score in the World Cup. He seems to score a lot in France. But when we need him most these days, he is not scoring. I need something out of Jonathan David. He's supposed to be our guy, right?
Jonathan David's agent needs something out of Jonathan David. Some huge teams are
Come on. What, do
looking.
you remember last year there was all this talk of him going, I think it was Man U, right?
They're apparently rumored to be coming back in for him. Do not do it, Jonathan David. Come to a good force for football. Come to Everton, you beauty.
I need him. I need him to step up. I need something out of him. Even today, not a lot of chances, right? Like it just didn't feel like he was in the mix as much as I wanted him to be. Am I being harsh?
No, I mean, it was finishing for Canada. This game could have been like
always the
7-4, 7-5 to either of these teams. I think right the Eustachio had a great chance right at the stroke of half. At half time, I was like, I do not know what the hell we've just watched, but I wanted more. As you said, Argentina kept Canada waiting for the start of the second half.
Veteran move.
Yeah, and then it worked. It worked. That shit out. I think it just did them 4 minutes in. Off a throw-in, which will drive Jesse bloody crazy. Messi to McAllister, taken out by the goalkeeper, but not before he poked it quite artfully to Alvarez to drive home. How did it feel, Ariel? Was it like being on the receiving end of a kidney punch from Santiago Ponzinibbio? I had to look up a UFC fighter from Argentina.
Well done.
How did you say that last name?
Ponzinibbio, Santiago Ponzinibbio. What a legend. It felt inevitable. It felt like we had dodged a few bullets, a few leg kicks or punches from the great Alex Pereira. who was headlining UFC 303, and then it felt like they were inevitably going to connect with one. But later on, maybe some 10 or so minutes later, there should have been a foul there. Maybe not a penalty kick. It wasn't in the box, but at least we should have gotten the kick, right?
Oh my God, that was so
was
insane.
Yes.
God bless Canada. They kept coming. That is a sign of a great team. You take a kick in the down belows and you just keep charging.
Yeah.
Jacob Schoffelberg of Nashville came on all boy bandy. He just hustled with his creativity. Jonathan David had a fine chance. Messi missed. I think it was 17 one-on-ones I lost count. Crepo, 5 saves. 3 of them at least, by the way, were him against Messi. I mean,
Incredible.
huge shout out to the referee. I think he was Venezuelan. I think it was... I
He
think
was intense.
Yeah, Jesse Venezuela. He was just, by the way, both so hapless, but also spicy. Like he was like in the players' faces, which just made more madness, more chaos down the stretch. Chances. I mean, that was a terrible piece of decision making, unfathomable if you're a Canada fan or a Canadian player. You must have been reduced to a pulp.
Initially I thought it should have been a penalty kick. Obviously not upon reflection. And then I couldn't believe that they were just ignoring the fact that it was a foul. Like it seemed like they were just focused on whether or not it was in the box. But to me, that was clear as day. I was shocked that there was another play that Messi could have easily gone down and he would have gotten the penalty kick 1,000%, and he didn't fall. You remember this play?
Yeah, absolutely. 100%.
I was shocked that he didn't try to draw the foul there.
I mean, genuinely, at that point, you could have pulled, if you're a player, you could have pulled a pair of nunchuckers out of your anus and just started going for it. And the referee would have been like, no, I just see nothing. I mean, 88th minute, Canada wilted. Messi slipped and Lautaro Martinez finished. Finally, someone could play football on this night. Game over. Ariel, you get no points for leaving from a bar fight with your dignity intact. You just get pool ball shaped bruises on your down belows. I thought your team was so positive, so fearless. I kept trying to think, if I was an American fan and that was my team, how would I feel? I bet you tell me how you feel, because I bet you feel alive, which is ultimately what football's all about.
I feel like there's hope. I feel like we have a chance to advance. All of this to me feels like we're building towards 2026. Ultimately, the goal isn't to win the Copa America, but when you consider the fact that a month and a half ago we did not have a manager, right? We did not have a manager. The 180 regarding the hope surrounding this program right now is remarkable. I mean, first getting Jesse, okay, how's this? First, it's like, holy crap, Jesse Marsch, really? Wow. Then is how's this going to work?
I think you get Wisconsin too.
We'll take them. Green Bay, everyone. Then it's 5-0 against Netherlands, and you're like, okay, first one. Then it's 0-0 against France, and they tried. And then this, I mean, look who he's played in his first 3 games: Netherlands, France, Argentina. I mean, great days are ahead. Great days are ahead.
By the way, not scored under Jesse. That will come. Argentina remain
Please,
Argentina.
God.
I want to tell you, I believe this Canadian team are so magnificent. This young, fresh face of a brave new Canadian nation that we can all believe in. God bless to your boys, the tragically hip of football. They really are. They're an incredible face of your. When they click, this is a Canada that looks just so remarkable to the world, Ariel.
This is a great question here from my friend Olajuwon Dream. Does Canada soccer or Canada basketball have more potential? The fact that this is even a question, Raj, the fact that when I was a kid, both were laughing stocks. The fact that both of them now are major players on the international scene is an amazing thing. I would say Canada basketball a little bit more advanced than Canada soccer at the moment, given the fact that we have the Jamal Murrays and Shea Gilgeous-Alexanders of the world. But I'll take Alphonso Davies and Jonathan David any day.
I'm looking at the 10 greatest Canadian NBA players of all time. I'm looking at it with quite relish. Steve Nash, God bless. I'd love to have him come on and talk about Canada. Who knew?
Oh, yeah. Why can't you get him? You could get him easy, no?
He may or may not be coming. Wow. Tristan Thompson. Oh, my God, I had no idea. Jamal McGlaw. I mean, I think, honestly, the reality is potential. There's the man. There's the legend I was looking for, Bill Wennington.
Bill Wennington of Montreal, baby.
Yeah, in Canada, when you see Bill Wennington, you're like, what if our best athletes played soccer? Bill Wennington, you could have had him up top today, and I think you would have won this game. God bless to you boys. Argentina face Chile. Canada's next match, Peru on Tuesday. I think you will win that game of football, Ariel.
Wow.
I'm going to let you have the last word on Canada. Speak to your fellow Canadian fans. Tell us what you should expect, what you feel in your heart of hearts, and then we'll talk
Canadian
about England.
fans out there, that empty feeling that we had in the winter of 2022, forget about that. There is hope. There is sunshine. There's a lot of excitement. We have a proper leader. We have an incredible team. They are young. They are hungry. They have a chip on their shoulder. We have Alphonso Davies, who's headed to Real Madrid. I mean, this is an incredible thing that a Canadian is going to go play for Real Madrid. We have Buchanan, who's tough back there. We've got Crepeau doing his thing. The goalkeeping was a big problem in Qatar. It's no longer a problem. I feel for the first time really in my lifetime that there is something that obviously what Herdman did was great, but there is a foundation here, and there is a future, and there is a vision, and this is a fun style to get behind. No one wants to watch defensive, stay back and just kind of play cautious. This is fun. Go out there, press. This is like 40 minutes of hell. This is like Nolan Richardson, Arkansas basketball back in the day. You know what I'm talking about?
Great.
You know what I'm talking about?
It. And also, because you got Jesse, Green Bay Packers now have to play in the CFL. It's a package deal.
Why
in
not?
Other games today, England won. Oh my God, Denmark, what? Won a draw that felt like a loss for England in a game which honestly was like an agonising footballing reenactment of Hamlet. Magnificent Denmark played like they are statistically the second happiest nation in the world. Denmark, no doubt fueled by the need for revenge after England's 2-1 victory in the semi-final of the last Euros. Raheem Sterling's alleged dive that got England through, their fans chanting, "You're just a shit part of Scotland," which I just love ahead of kickoff. That is magnificent. In this game, England, honestly, Gareth kept the starting lineup the same. Trent Alexander-Arnold, Phil Foden from the first game just jammed in there, out of position into the midfield. We were looking for chemistry. We got none of it. It was a bit dark. Yes, we scored on 18 minutes. Why am I using the word we? That's not what I'm about.
No.
I'm American now. Like, right, Kenny Powers-esque. Harry Kane swept in, flashed the ball home after some Kyle Walker-inspired chaos. 4 goals, national team record. 64 goals, national team record for H. Kane. 13 in tournament play, more than any other English male. But then, as the Smiths would say, stop me if you've heard this before, Ariel. England, when they go 1-0 up, they just go to sleep. 1 minute, they had control and the lead, and then they just unfathomably gave both up. Helwani struck the ball out of nowhere like some kind of Danish Anderson the Spider Silva. Could not have smashed it any cleaner. Through traffic, off the post. Absolutely Mads Mikkelsen, that ball. Long range goal of the tournament, 34 yards. I mean, God, Ariel, this is the Euros of bangers. Every game, every minute. Honestly, I watch these games in the day, and I feel sorry for those who don't love this sport in this nation, Ariel. It's magnificent, right?
It's been incredible theater and drama, and I boldly, everyone knows this, I don't need to tell you, but just for the new fans out there, I boldly proclaimed that England would win it all, that it would come home, and I don't know what to make of this team. I really don't. I know it's en vogue to crap all over Gareth Southgate, but you cannot have a lineup like this with this kind of talent, not to mention the guys who are sitting on the bench, not even getting a minute or two of action, and play like this. Lifeless, listless, uninspired, just sort of going through the motions. This is a dream team. This is an unbelievable squad. Jude was non-existent. I love Jude. Harry Kane got the goal, but then afterwards non-existent. Like I don't understand. I don't understand.
It is remarkable. Our oily sailor tweeted, "Have not seen England retreat like this against the Danes since the 9th century." They just seem to recede mentally. What's amazing is collectively they all receded. England's midfield unravelled, the spacing, the vague idea of any kind of connection or movement or syncopated pressing. They really looked at what they are, a team in which 3 players are struggling out of position, which they excel for their clubs. A right back playing at left back, another right back playing centre midfield, 2 maverick creative centre midfielders playing deep in front of the back 4, everyone trying to cut inside from the left to find room. Southgate then yanked them all off, 54th minute, experiment ended, Trent pulled, Conor Gallagher thrown on, Foden actually hit the post, but then he and Kane were taken off. That was an intense and I think, debilitating moment, removing all of the goals scored by England in the team. On came Eze, overwhelmed, Ollie Watkins. Denmark, it should be said, lost in this, were very, very good. Strong squad, became stronger as the game went on, opposite of England. Confidence bled all over the field. You could almost feel their fear. This is what's interesting, Ariel. Tabloid scapegoats, like the English media loves to slaughter their own. This was a very Manchester United-esque performance. A number of shots, I think, was it 16 shots they conceded. It was just, Bellingham, as you say, lost. And I was watching, I was like, Ivory Coast fired their manager mid-tournament in the African Cup of Nations and went on to win. Maybe England should do the same. But the truth is, England haven't even given the media, Ariel, chance to build them up before tearing them apart. Have you ever encountered anything in sport like the English tabloid press?
Well, if we were talking last night, I would have said fire Southgate, hire Stevie Cooper, but unfortunately he's off the market now. So, shout out to Leicester City for that great move. I don't know if there's anyone who can fix this kind of mess. No, of course, there's a ton of people, and I know there's some names being thrown around. I don't think they're going to do it. They should have probably done it after the World Cup. The English media is a crazy thing. I obviously focus a lot on combat sports, and I see the way they treat the likes of Anthony Joshua, the boxer, Tyson Fury. They can get really, really tough, and it seems like sometimes they are the last to truly get behind one of their own. For example, when Anthony Joshua lost to Alexander Usyk and kind of had a mental breakdown in the ring, they couldn't have been harsher on him. And here's a guy who put British boxing back on the map, who represented England, who won a gold medal at the 2012 London Games. And it's just like none of that mattered. He's never embarrassed the country. He's never gotten in trouble in a major way, anything like that. And everyone was just killing him. And now, of course, he's had this resurgence. So I'm sure the takes on Talk Sport with Simon Jordan and company are going to be very measured tomorrow morning.
Leveled,
yeah,
objective.
I'm sure it's going to be very objective and very sort of, calm, cool, and collected. I'm not ready to write their obituary just yet, but golly, do they have to figure this out.
I mean, there were boos at full time. Southgate, by the way, under conditions of hysterical pressure, must now try and right everything that's wrong. Kane's role, find a midfield, work out to control second balls. The Trent, Gallagher, Adam, Kobe.
You know what they're missing? They're missing a maestro in the middle, someone who is able to work things out.
Morgan Gibbs-White.
There it is, number 10, a true number 10.
With Dwight McNeil, a true left winger. I love you. If you get Morgan Gibbs-White and I get Dwight, I mean, by the way, maybe give Cole Palmer a minute or two.
Yeah, would be nice.
He said post-game, Southgate, rather bafflingly, he's trying to compensate for the loss of Calvin Phillips. Really, my God, maybe dude is quite quitting when he said that. But I just want to be clear, and we'll talk about this if there's questions. This is not a darkness. 1986 World Cup, England opened against Portugal, lost. Then drew with Morocco second game, very, very lost still. And then third game, they brought in 4 players, 3 of them from Everton. And suddenly found the system, found the talent, and looked imperious. They beat Poland 3-0. But it takes time in a tournament to find the life, to find the right combination. Southgate's so cautious, one does wonder if that's going to happen. It can happen. May that occur in 5 days' time. Denmark plays Serbia. England plays Slovenia on June the 25th. Lots of sabermetrics on those Talk Sport lines. I'm sure, as you say, it'll be very analytical. Are they going to make it, Ariel? You told me, as you said, England should be led by Stevie Cooper, your beloved. What do you think is going to happen to England in the third game?
I think they advance. I think they make it to the final. I really do. I think they figure it out.
God willing. Spain 1, Italy 0. Massive game, massive names, serious opposition colliding against each other. 3 of the last 4 competitions won by these two teams. Spain now clear. Attack with pace, menace, white hot heat. Nico Williams, he was like that Foxtrot glow puck of old. A flame at pace. Donnarumma parrying like the last starfighter, wave after wave of Spanish attack. Second half, no different. Spain, though, missed chance after chance. So Italy gave them a helping hand. Charity. Williams lashed a low ball. Donnarumma got fingers on it, flicked it onto old Calafiore's knee. Comedy lols. It's been 5 own goals in the Euros so far. Lead goal scorer, own goal by some stretch. Ariel, this is the Euros of bangers. Or comedy slapstick self-destruction. There's nothing in between.
No, but I actually thought that Spain could have easily won like 3-0 this game, right? Like Italy was nowhere near this was. Do you remember? I know you didn't grow up in Canada. I'm trying to
I
figure out
kind of
what.
almost did, Ariel.
Yeah,
So
okay.
just let
Well,
me
there used to
pretend.
Saturday
Let me
mornings.
dream.
There used to be something called Maple Leaf Wrestling, where it would be like
Oh
a
my
superstar against a
god.
jobber, and
Oh
it
my
felt like
god.
Italy were the jobbers, and
That's that. But they're good. But Spain were that good. 20
nah, way
shots.
better, way
I mean,
better.
50 attacks. They just were utterly magnificent. By the way, do you remember a beer in Canada? Mike Myers gave me a book he wrote that didn't come big, but I loved it, about Canada when he grew up. It's called Canada by Mike Myers. And he said
Wow.
that there was a beer. He said in the book he just loved how Canadians just talk sense. Like in America, if we have a children's hospital, it's called like Mercy or Hope. But in Canada, you call your kids' hospital Sick Kids. And there was he said the thing that
Never thought of that.
he remembers best is that one of the most popular six packs of the old days was called Lonely Guy Beer, which I just loved.
Wow. No, I cannot. First of all, I didn't even know he wrote a book like that. Second of all, the hospital thing is in fact 1,000% true. I can vouch for that. I don't know about the lowly guy beer. I mean, I left
Lonely
Canada
Guy
when I was
Beer.
19, so
Yeah.
I didn't do a ton of drinking,
So
believe
you
it or
did not
not.
drink Lonely Guy Beer.
No.
I vaguely remember a commercial where there was just like a guy watching Monday Night Hockey or whatever it's called.
Hockey Night in Canada on
Yeah, Hockey
Saturdays.
Night in Canada.
Yes.
Just with like a six pack under his arm of Lonely Guy Beer in a dark room with just the television
We
illuminating
call
his
that
face.
heaven. We call that
Yes, I
heaven.
know. It was just, I was like, I looked at the commercial, I was like, that looks good. 20 shots for Spain. Into the round of 16 as group toppers, Williams unplayable, Rodri imperious, and 16-year-old, Yamal took a break from doing I crap you not his homework in the team hotel to scintillate. Ariel, 16, just fearless, audacious, next level. Can you believe a sophomore in high school just dominating the world?
No, because I have a kid who's going into 7th grade, and so that means he's just like 3 years ahead. Like 3 years away from that, and no, that blows my mind. That's
Yeah,
unbelievable. I saw the picture that you posted of him doing his homework or something beforehand. It's
it
unbelievable.
is unbelievable. When I was 16, all I wanted was to get some Lonely Guy beer down
Yeah,
me. Slovenia
you
won.
know yourself.
Serbia won. My lord, Serbian fans marched into the game against Slovenia chanting, Luka Doncic is one of us. And it looked like Doncic that the boys would be on the losing side till the very last second. Just an undefendable corner from Ilic swung right into the heart of the Slovenian nerve splinter, the Kenny Loggins danger zone, and Jovic, smothered with defenders, got his bonce on the ball. Mayhem. 1 second, you're looking at an exit, humiliation. Suddenly, a win over Denmark will almost definitely be enough for the last 16. These Euros, my God. Ariel, every game a banger. Honestly, all of them going down to the very last second. I've never seen a tournament like it.
We are blessed. We are blessed, and now with Copa starting, you're getting a stretch here of like 5 games a day, right? For
Yeah,
this
I,
one week.
I
It's
don't know what to
unbelievable.
do with myself between the hours of 2 in the morning and 5 in the morning. It's just
It's
like I'm
fantastic.
going to have to read books. We're going to take very few questions tonight, partially because I'm going to fall over, genuinely. Hello to everyone in LA last night. Everyone I met on the plane on the flight back. Thank God. I flew JetBlue today, which I've not done in a long time, just so I could watch all the games reliably.
Smart. That's a
It was
veteran move.
just genuinely, it was exquisite. But I also want to get Ariel off. He's got to pick up a kid. So we're going to keep this super tight with your questions here on YouTube Live. Remember, you just scan the QR code, top left of your screen to come on there. Very, very quickly. We're going to bring on the great, wouldn't be a Do It Live without the great Josh Youngerman, who may want to talk about his keys, his house, locked out of his apartment, the problems in his life, or you may have something to ask the great Ariel Helwani before he
Um,
departs.
I will not, as a Montreal lover, stand for this not knowing what the best bagel in Montreal is. I'm saying this wearing my Expos hat right now.
Ariel,
The best,
I don't think they heard you at the back. What is the best bagel
No, I
in
said St.
Montreal and why?
Peter.
Yeah.
and it's Fairmount.
Nah.
I mean, is there anything better in life than drunkenly rolling up to Fairmount Bagel at 1 in the morning after a night out and just ordering like a 4-pack of all the bagels?
But by the way, it's great. It's great. I mean, we're talking about like 1A, 1B. It's not the craziest of hot takes. If you would have come out and said like New York bagels are better or something like that, then I would have said you're absolutely out of your mind.
They're so different, though. They're so different. Can I just tell you?
Clumpy.
Yeah,
Can I tell you? I was in Montreal about a month ago, 5 weeks ago. I loved it. I did communicate with Ariel a lot while I was there as I ate my way around the city. There's a lot of crap right now in the Euros. Talked about it last night with Brendan Hunt. Like the Euros, ultimately, they're using football just as a way to get into food bans and all these arguments about whether paella's better than pizza or Montreal bagels and New York bagels. I don't even know how you compare them. They're like two different species.
It's completely different. It's
completely different. So how
Yeah.
can you compare these things? That's what I'm saying.
I mean, one is fake, one is inauthentic, one feels like it's been juiced up with like some sort of weird, I don't know, gluten steroid. Like it's like
Which one?
the New York bagel. Yeah, of course. The other one feels like it's been like crafted and has TLC in it, and it's like you almost like make love to it, and it's all different shapes and sizes, right? And it never looks the same, and it's fresh, and all the sesame seeds fall off just when you touch it. Like that's how you
the
know it's
sesame
legit.
seeds. Don't get me started. When I eat a Montreal bagel, it feels like I've just finished a Mordecai Richler novel, which I do love.
with
You
a
don't
little
get that with
smoked
a New
salmon.
York bagel. But Joshua Youngerman, you are the most well-traveled, cultured GFOP. You've got a question or a story
thank you, sir.
for every single
Y-
guest on every game we come off, which is why I love you. Do you actually have anything about football? Did you just come on
Yeah,
for the bagels
yeah.
talk?
Well, I'll do bagels anytime. But no, really quickly. So, two things. One, I think, and this has been an amazing Euros tournament, by the way. And I got the entire day off today, so I could watch football because it was graduation, which meant I got to watch football because no kids were there, at school on a big whiteboard, or a smartboard. But um, I, I just can't watching this England team and watching someone like Declan Rice play for Arsenal, and then seeing like, what do you think of moving Foden to the 10? Bellingham and Rice playing alongside each other, sort of like Rice does at Arsenal. And then honestly, you could put any number of players out on the wing with Saka, but these players seem so like limited based on, or it's like they're inhibited in terms of what they can do by this like, I don't even want to say it's a conservative system. It's almost like there's too much talent on this team, and Southgate doesn't like know where to put all these guys.
I think that's fair.
But
I think that's very fair.
I,
I'll answer you like this because I want to take one more question and then let Ariel go because I'm very, very worried about his kids who are waiting for Daddy
As am I.
Ariel. The kids are worried about Ariel maybe sitting in front of the TV drinking Lonely Guy beer. Look, I mean, here's the reality. I think Gareth Southgate probably should have gone after the World Cup. It was a very odd move in the moment. Harry Kane's getting pelters from the English press. There was an incredible moment, if you can find it. Thomas Frank, the Brentford manager, talked brilliantly. He was the only guy who talked brilliantly about Kane, talking about how you actually get the best out of Kane, which is to have runners charging off him. Foden, Saka, Bellingham, why are they not doing that? The whole tactical setup is wrong. Ultimately, Anthony Gordon is the only natural left winger they have. Why he's had 0 minutes is utterly, utterly befuddling. England created an average of 0.72 XG in their first two games at the Euros. Luton Town averaged 1.23 XG, which is remarkable. Brendan Hunt texted me today to say the only person who came out well from these first two games is Harry Maguire. That kind of captures all of it. Stay the course. Let's give England a chance to click together. There's one more roll of the dice. We will say what we need to do. I do want to ask one quick question of Ariel that's just come in from somebody who couldn't stay on. Kevin Duluth in Minnesota. Oh, it's Kevin in Duluth. That would have been amazing if your name was Kevin Duluth from Minnesota. I just would have loved that nominative determinism. He wrote, when I saw Ariel was going to be on, I had to tell you, I need to know before he leaves how he thinks next season will go for Nottingham Forest.
Yeah.
Where do we finish? Okay, I'll hang up and listen.
I'm happy that we survived. Everything was thrown at us. The Premier League tried to screw us. They tried to take points away. You know nothing about this, and we've come through and we've thrived. I hope they keep CHO. That's my guy. I hope they keep Morgan Gibbs-White. I hope they keep Murillo. There's a lot of big question marks, but I feel very good. Once you survive 2 seasons, it's usually smooth sailings in the Marinakis family. I trust, and I hope to be at the City Ground next year.
Oh, God bless. At the sight of Ariel Helwani sitting by Mr. Marinakis, that is a vision I want to see. Go and get your son.
I
Go
love
and
you,
enjoy
Raj.
Canada. I love you, Helwani. I'll speak
you.
to you, beautiful man.
Peace
Go,
out.
go, go. Peace out, baby, baby. Oh, what an incredible human being. And here is a look at everything we've got. Helwani, just go, baby. At everything we've got coming up at the Men in Blazers World Headquarters. It's our first of 6 straight days doing it live. Oh, with Ariel's chair. We've got some quite incredible guests joining us over the course of the next week. We've got Brendan Hunt tomorrow. Come be with us. Oh, we've got John Green on Sunday, which I cannot wait, right after the US men's national team open up against Bolivia. What could go wrong now? We will be, there's a joyous stream of humanity coming. All of it will be streamed right here on YouTube. All of our Do It Lives are presented by BMW during the summer of soccer. Do not miss it. And as we lead up to the US men's national team's opening game of the Copa, we're dropping a pair of interviews with 2 American heroes. Joe Scally, the man who ultimately made Ronaldinho fall out of love with Brazilian football. We also have St. Louis's Ginger Prince, Josh Sargent, as part of our American Dreams. Superior meet Suboptimal, presented by Michelob Ultra. Both of those drop tomorrow. Check our pod feed and our YouTube for those. My lord, Viator, we did a poll. Get 68% of the vote for the best Montreal bagel in the chat. Josh Youngerman, take that, baby. This is Rog, wishing all of our neighbours in the north Godspeed. Do not lose hope. There is greatness that lies ahead. It is a joy to be with you. We do not take it for granted. This incredible time to be alive. We Euro by day. We Copa by night. Let's savor every second. Make memories together. This is Rog. Saying big love, Canada. Well done, Jesse Marsch, you big, big hero. And go, go, USA. Courage.